Hey, how you doing? I hope you're well. I'm Deanna and welcome to my channel. And today we are going to go through my mid-year journal flip through. So as you can see, she has chunked out quite a lot. I finally got around to start putting stickers on. I got this sticker from Babe from Pearl and Pleather and I love it. I'm obsessed with my journal. It's my go-to self-care activity. So I figured I would take the time to flip through, considering we did a setup video at the start of the year or the end of last year. I have just recently got a new tripod, the one that hangs up over the table, so hopefully we're going to get a better look at the journal, but we'll see. It's a learning curve for everybody. So first things first, I use the Electrum 1917 journals in their like A5 dotted hardcover. I really like this journal. I know it's not like a bullet journal, people's journal, but I personally really love the, watch me out myself from not having written a review for everything. But I personally love like the way it looks. There's a little bit of bleed through of the ink, but I don't mind. I will most likely be using another one to wrap up the rest of 2025. We'll see. Actually, for next year, I think I'm either gonna get, they've got like this like tangerine color, or I might get like a pink or a purple. Green's my favorite color, so I've always done like greeny blues, and I think I did sage this year and last year, so I'm thinking let's branch it up. And I will say the spine has held up pretty good, considering this is her without, it just wants to open up to this page for some reason, but the spine's held up pretty good. So we have my cover page, which I just very simply stamped, and my channel name. We have an index. My index I changed up this year from last year, and instead of writing every book, because each book gets its own review page, or if it's a novella or a reread, it might get a half page, but each book gets its own page. So instead of putting every single book down, I have chosen to list out my yearly trackers, and then I'll list out each like start of the month pages, so like the cover page, the hauled page, the stats page. Readathons get their own page, and then I've just got, as you can see here, 41 to 57 January reads. There's my cover page, and I've used stickers from Mina Gona Sully Art, and I love it. My kind of journaling style is this very much like junk journal. And the first spread that I do, and I just love the way it looks, it's very simple, but I love just having a running look at all the books and a star rating. This one here, I preemptively thought it was a duology. I was finishing duologies in January, but it's not. So he's still there, and I will get to him probably closer to spooky season. So you can, as you see, as it's filled out, it just looks so good. The pages slightly stick together because of the glue tape. I recently just got a glue stick from my brother, Connor, and that's actually kind of life-changing. I think I'm gonna go with moving forward, because I found that when it dries, it doesn't get sticky like the glue tape. The glue tape has remained sticky for this like entire time. And there we go, and then we've just got some empty pages, and then I am currently on track to read more than what this journal covers, so I can set up a new one in the new journal when I get there. Then we have my little bookshelfie. This one I have specifically made to focus on books that are on my physical shelves, which is why it's looking a bit more filled in, and I've liked having the one page because it makes it feel a little less overwhelming than having the 2 pages. We are coming close to finishing off this page. I've only got, what, 5 spots left, and then these are like my priority series here and another priority book. So I will most likely make a new one in my second half journal. For next year, I'm thinking, so as you can see here in the key, I color code it based on rating, but it's like a double up, right? Because this has all my ratings on it. So I'm thinking maybe for next year, do it either by genre. So maybe I can have a look at and see what genres I'm reading from my shelf, or I could do it by like format. So how many of these did I read with my eyeballs? How many did I do audiobooks? Something like that. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I will keep it for ratings for the rest of this year. We have my goals page. As you can see, I've completed my 100 books. It was on the 6th of July, and you can tell I'm clearly filming after that fact. But I just love the way this particular spread looks. Each of the colors corresponds to the colors of the month when we'll get there, and the rest of my goals are here. I think I'm doing pretty good on the around the year front. very good. I mentioned that in my stats video, which I can link below. Rereads, I'm doing surprisingly well since I decided to reread the Ironside series. I'm very close to finishing 24 series. Clear Shelf's going horribly. I don't think I've read 10 subscription books. Might be something to focus on for the rest of the year. And I've definitely bought more than 10 books a month. I blame Babe. Here's my little overview where I just give an update on what my formats were for each month and also how many standalone sequels or first books I'm reading. As you can see in May, 16 sequels, that's just incredible. And I seem to be averaging like starting 7 series a month, which is a bit concerning. So hopefully we can drop that average down. As we know, because I won't shut up about it, series are my big thing at the moment. So as you can see, I've just got series overview. So we've got at the start of the year, how many books I was finished, DNF'd, was up to date with, and in progress. So on my actual spreadsheet, I split this up into just started and in the middle of, but that's a collective look there. And I've just noted down how many series I finished, started, or continued. So for example, if I binge read a series, it would go straight into the finished column. If I only read the first book, I'll put it in started. If I read a couple of books in the series, that goes into continued. May was fantastic. So let's see if we can get another May in here. We have my series tracker, and this is the first year I've done this, and I am just absolutely obsessed with the way this looks. I know other people have done it other ways. I know people often will start from like the right and go back in, but I prefer it this way. As you can see, I've got a row for each of the series. If there's black here, it means that there's no more, so this series is up to date. As you can tell, I was reading a few few duologies here. If there's nothing here, it means I'm not sure. Pretty sure I've heard Opal Rain mention that Duskwalker is going to be a 10-book series, but I'm leaving it for now because 8 books are out. So if it's dark grey like this one here, it means that I read these books prior to 2025, and then going on with a similar theme to my challenge page, each of the books that I've read this year have been colored in based on the month. So let me zoom in. Hoo-hoo. So for example, as you can see here with If Love series, I had read 1 in Feb and then 2 in March. So they've got each color based on when it was read. And I love it. I love this so much. As you can tell, I have been making my way through a lot of series. It does look a little bit intense, but as you can see, we're getting a lot of finished. On this page in particular, there is a lot of started, but we're also getting a lot of finished. So I think I've got another page just in case, but let's hope we can keep on track with these ones here. We have my anticipated releases. I'm pretty bad at this. Actually, I think there's a couple of books on here, Not Just Friends and Elegance and Espionage, which might be pushed back to next year. I still have 2 spots left. I will definitely be putting Delana Perachek's, the new one. Her first book of the Season of the Crows is coming out very soon. So once the cover's finalized, or next time I'm printing off covers, I will put one here. I don't think I'll do another spread like this in my next journal. I think downsizing it to 1 has been pretty helpful for me. I love this little ghosty. I'm 100% doing that again next year because he is so cute. Again, we're sticking with the color theme, so each little flower is colored in based on the month that I read it. Here you can see my rereads, so it's all very like pinky beigey colors, but we have 6, so I should hit my 10 by the end of the year. I will be rereading each book in the Make Games as the others come out, so that'll at least add another 3. I've been enjoying reminding myself to reread, and it's been a lot of fun. I reread If We Ever Meet Again to finish off the series, and same with the Ironside books. The Scent of Us, I just love that series, and it recently came out on audio, and I do have the other 2 on audio, so when I'm in the mood for pick me up, I most definitely will read those. Next, I have my buzzword challenges. This is hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. I'm not doing great. I'm pretty sure Sasha Reads just announced a ARC reading challenge for August, so I'll definitely be taking part in that. And I am hoping for August and September to really focus in on just catching up on this challenge in particular and clearing off my currently read shelf, because I've got 2 books that I've had on there for a long time. So I've been enjoying both of them. They're just a bit more dense and need a lot of brain space. So I'm hoping to get those cleared off. I've only read 3 of the 6 books for the titles challenges. I am doing a little bit better with the covers, and I've read 5 of the 6. So I do have Fable on audio currently, so I definitely will be listening to that, and I have that one on audio. And then, yeah, these ones I'll need to read with my eyeballs. Next is the Romance-opoly challenge, and I am doing well. I think I accidentally lied in my stats, and I don't think I've done as many as I have thought. So this is hosted by Under the Cover Book Blog, and it's a gamified version of a reading challenge. So each of the have like little prompts, which I obviously printed off and stuck in here. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any. The town is themed seasonally, but I haven't necessarily been doing this board challenge seasonally, and I've been trying to do the bonus prompt seasonally, but I'm kind of coming to the point where I just want to knock it out, so I might switch that up. So because these are on the board, I just put a big tick and then put them at the back of the little pocket. So I've already picked my books for at least 2 of them. That is Lighthouse and Beachside Cafe. So that's to read a book set on water on a vacation, then like a coastal small town. Pirate is the main character. Fable's gonna be perfect for that, I'm pretty sure. I just have to read a thriller, mystery, or romantic thriller set in winter. I'm thinking either one of the Stephanie Holmes books is gonna fit for that, or Of Darkness, which is the 3rd book in the Of Mine series by Alexis Grace, hoping that fits there. And then I've just got read a road trip, armchair travel, or beach read. This might be crossed off with Final Tour by Lucifer, because that's, I guess, road trip. It's a band touring. That counts, right? And then of my 16 bonus prompts, I have most of them to do summer. So I only did one in the 2 months of summer we've had. So we've got spring. I haven't done any spring, but I think it's only just turned spring with, no, we're still in winter. Fall, winter, and then as you can see with these ones, I think I finished more than this, I just haven't updated them. Anyway, I'm having a stroke looking at this because I'm missing some. I finished these 2, which I'll need to update. So I'm just gonna put them here so I can remember. But as you can see with these ones, I just stick the cover in and do a tick as well. Oh, that was stressful, but lots more to finish off there. I feel like I accidentally missed a page. Hold on, going back. Yes, I did. This is my ARC log. Just, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Very totalitarian. As you can see, there's quite a few books on here that I haven't actually read yet. And there are a handful more that I've read but haven't reviewed. But overall, looking at this page, I'm actually doing pretty well with my review copies. So that does make my heart feel a little bit better. So basically, I just put the date that the book is coming out, the title, where I sourced it from. So whether it was directly from the author, a publisher, or a PR company, just so I can know who to thank when I post my review, and then a tick for read and a tick for reviewed. All right, now that we're slightly out of order, we can go to January. So I had bought these stickers from Journal Say, and I don't know, I just was in love with this kind of sci-fi but classics element. So loved it. I went with this kind of like pink and blue theme. Blue was the color for Jan. And then I bought these like dot grid paper that were colored, and I've just been putting my titles on them. On this page, we've got our hauled books, and then we've got our stats. So I did decide, if you haven't watched my Q1 check-in, I wasn't sure whether to leave the Tetris boxes just like the shape or to highlight all the squares, and family and friends decided that it looked much better as the little squares. So I just track some basic stuff like books read, how many pages read, my average star rating. I then do a little graph here with my ratings, and they're all kind of color coded based on that same color code. Maybe I'm going into too much detail, but the same color code key that is here. I then put my formats in a pie chart, and this year I've decided to, for genres, do this little Tetris situation. So hold on. I did actually keep literary this shape, but I was panicked, thought I wanted a shape like this. So I might do that next year and change up the shapes. Every time I finish, I've got just on this little cheat sheet what genres are which color, and then an indicator about which pen it is. And then this is what my review pages looks like. It's very simple in comparison to some other people's. I just need to have space to write down my thoughts, especially for books I'm reviewing. So I just put the cover here because the cover's got the title and the author. Here I've just put my little star rating in the color of the month, and then I've got what genre it is, how many pages, and when did I finish it. So my first book of the year was Sin by Kayla Rain and Meg Ann. And as you can see, January's probably been my most successful month updating stuff. As you can tell by this page right here, I will do something like this if there is a novella, or I've reread, or just vibes. Then we have February. This Still one of my favorite cover pages I've ever done. July, foreshadowing for my final flip through, July is possibly my favorite now, or a close second. So was inspired by Moochie Bujo and the way she was setting up hers. I did have like a grid notebook which I accidentally bought, and I've been loving using pages of that just to add like a different element. Again, we've got our hauled, our little stats page here, and this is a common type of page I'll do for readathons if they've just got like a bingo board. Very simply decorated it themed wise and used the same pink dot grid paper, which has been like super handy, and then just will cross out the prompts I've covered. I also took part in the Romantasy-a-thon, which was hosted, so I should say this was hosted by Steph Loves, and this one was hosted by Tori Between Pages. And the idea is that the books you read, so I've got the little prompts here, and depending on the prompt and which book you read, indicated like what your weapon was, who you brought to the dance, what your trope was, your background, and things like that. So that was like the little invites, so I thought that'd be cute to pop it out. This was only a week long. I did read way more fantasy romance, but in that week this was all I did. Here we go to March, another sticker by Minagoli Suli Art. Not a huge fan of this one. It's okay, but I'm just trying to experiment with different stuff and things and using some of the ephemera and stationery that I have. My hauled page. And here is another stats page. I don't know what, I was clearly trying to fit in something here, so I'd made space, but it didn't work out and now it looks funny. Oh well, it is what it is. Then there was the Thick Thighs readathon, hosted by a number of Aussie booktubers, and that was a lot of fun. More review pages. Then we have time for April, which is my birthday month, and I'm all kinds of obsessed, and this is when I started putting this little page here. Green's my favorite color. Foxes are one of my favorite creatures. So another Minagoli Suli Art, and I think this is perfect. Very maximalist, but I think everything feels quite balanced in page coverage. There's my stats and my formats. Intensely paranormal this particular month. We also had the Aurelian Magical Readathon, so I've been enjoying making spreads like this. I did this last year. This is from the syllabus page that G from the Book Rose, who runs this readathon, puts together. So I just cut out the top half and the bottom half of the page, like did a little screenshot, and then just sized it up to fit this particular width. Was a little bit off, but overall I just think this is beautiful. And then I just stamped out the titles, what the prompt was, and then just stuck the cover in. Each section was highlighted in the month's color once the book was completed. And then we had the Love in the Night readathon, which was hosted by a bunch of my favorite booktubers. Again, another week-long one right over my birthday to read all things paranormal, so I had to be involved. There was a scavenger hunt, which I don't think I paid much attention to, but I still loved. I loved the idea of doing a little flip out because I did it in February, and then just found this art which looks very gothic, wax seal on Canva, printed it out, and yeah, just love the way that looks. So much fun. Reminds me I should probably do that again for another readathon. Here we go, May. This looks a little odd, but I had lots to say because I think this was the final book and I had run out of space. So I wanted to write a little bit extra here. For May, I kind of went with this mafia romance. I was going to pick up the new Gabriella Sanz book, which was a mafia romance, so I went with this kind of red with the roses, so I figured that kind of worked out well. I kind of was trying to mimic what I did in February. I just like that layout. And if you have a look closer here, we've got like some money and a weapon, a guy that's all bloody, and just gives like mafia vibes, and I just love the stickers with it. I think it worked out pretty well. Anyway, this was the month I went to Babe. So my hauled section is a bit wild, but it's also my best reading month. I mean, look at that little Tetris box. She'd be crazy. And then we've got the formats, stats, and we have a little fun hauled flip out moment because we ran out of space. I will take no judgment. I had been planning for Babe for months and months and was very happy with the whole thing. And then we have another readathon, another one hosted by Steph Loves. This is the final book support group. The idea is to finish series. So I do particularly love this one. We're coming up to the final month and I hate this. I wanted to try something where I didn't fill up the corners, and maybe if I had filled up the corners I would have done something better. This was supposed to be my rockstar romance moment, which you can see by like the images there. I've got Lively. What I'm about to tell you is that I was getting obsessed with Canva, and each of these little square ones are fake album covers of my favorite book bands. For example, let me just zoom it in here. We have Sharp Objects, which is The Words by Ashley Jade. Abandoned Bygones, Horizon, which is What Happens on Tour by Lucifer. Chasing the Storm, that is C.L. Menigan from Behind the Lights. The Dead Poets is from Hamatara by Scarlett Drake. Buried Alive, that's L.A. Cannon. The Dead Sergeants is Drive by Kate Stewart. Reverb is Reverse by Kate Stewart. Artificial Suicide is The Artificial Suicide by L.A. Cannon. And again, we have another one here for Dark Omens, which is L.A. Cannon. So, I mean, I was trying something different, I guess. I put a lot of effort into the design elements. I just hate the way it turned out. And maybe we will rebuild. I still have the covers, so maybe we will try again for a different month or sometime next year. Here we have our stats page. Again, Babe was from the 31st of May to the 1st of June, so we have another little flip out, but clearly picked up more books at day one. And then we have the Amazing Race readathon, which this was the second year I've taken part, and I think it's the third year. So this was slightly different because we went to fictional places instead. And Brie from Four Paws in a Book, who runs this, was also doing like little postcards. So I became obsessed with putting the postcards in with the points and everything. So I kind of changed my design halfway through. And we had these little like power-ups, which look like little Pokemon cards, and I stuck them on the postcard for, oh, I put that around the wrong way. It should probably be facing this one. For which book I used it for. There was, I think, a delay in getting some of these because Brie got really sick. So then I had fun in Canva creating my own postcards. So we had the Emerald City from Wizard of Oz, Besgaiath from Fourth Wing. We had the Capital from The Hunger Games, the Shire from The Hobbit, the Wall from Game of Thrones, Ketterdam from Six of Crows, Camp Half-Blood from Percy Jackson series, Sivranage, which is from Chrissa Broadbent's Serpent of the Wings of Night, and I had a lot of fun with that. It says the home of the Kujari, which is the tournament that they perform in. We then had Chestnut Springs, which is the Elsie Silver, I think, and Wonderland from Alice in Wonderland. And on the back, there's kind of like a fantasy style map. And then we did do some sightseeing prompts. So I did pretty much the same design as last year. I've got like these passport stamps on the back. This looks like the mat that the contestants cross when they finish up a leg of the Amazing Race. And then I've just popped the sightseeing prompts here, and then any that I finished up, I put the little cover with the rating and how many points they got me. Last but not least, at the very back of the book, we have my Romantasy bingo, which was put together by Hannah Blackwell. I borrowed this design from Jess from, I will put her channel name up here. She's a journal creator. So it's not exactly a perfect bingo board, but I kind of love it and have only got 3 more prompts to fill in, which is very exciting. So there you go. That is my journal as she currently stands. We're definitely going to be able to fit August, because I've got that much left after July. So we're definitely going to be able to fit like August in here, maybe September as well, but we'll have to flip to a new journal. I think if we do flip to a new journal, I've seen someone, I can't remember, they did something similar to my start pages, but they did them, I think, a little bit smaller, and each little bracket was books on their physical shelves, and then once they finished it, they put the cover in. So I'm thinking if I've got a lot of space left over in that journal, that might be a cool idea. And then I'll just write the titles in pencil, so if I unhaul something, I can just erase it and then go from there. But anyway, that is all from me today. Comment down and let me know if you have a reading journal or how you track your reading, or you can leave me either a, what have we got here? A moon, a heart, a flower, a star emoji. If you'd like to see more content from me, please like and subscribe. I'll be posting new videos every Sunday, or that is the goal. Linked in the description box below will be any supply that I mentioned or any channel I mentioned, and links to my social media channels if you'd like to talk to me or follow me on any other corner of the internet. Anyway, that's all from me today, guys. I hope you're doing all kinds of well, and I will speak to you soon. See ya!